Hi, auspicious greeting to everyone. Thank you for tuning into Shan English Dharma services. My name is Miao Tan from Shingma Temple in Malaysia. Today, I would like to share the topic on dealing with stress. In this modern world, people are constantly saying, life is too stressful. Why are people so stressed out? The feeling of stress are normally triggered by things happening in our daily life, such like death of loved ones, loss of job, chronic illnesses, emotional problems like anxiety and anger. There was a true story happened during the pandemic, when COVID-19 becomes a threat to everyone. Borders between countries are closed. There was a family. Their mother was infected with COVID-19 and was taken away from home to stay in ICU for a week. Her daughter, who was working in Singapore, wanting to go back to visit her mom. At that moment, it was a dilemma to choose between going back and lose her job or stay back to save her job. She was advised by her manager and her siblings to stay back because they cannot visit their mom as she is one of the COVID victims. So she was so lost and not knowing what to do. As day passed by, her anxiety increased. She has to balance both her job and family. Weeks later, she received a video call from the hospital wanting her to say her last farewell to her mom. She broke down. She cannot accept the death of her mom. She regret of not insisting to go back at the first place. Many stress began to grow in her mind. She suffered from depression and lived a life of regrets. From this incident, we can see stress is nothing but your mind. If you're attached to pain, then you'll feel the pain. If you can let go of pain, pain disappeared. Actually, many things around us contribute to stress, such like adapting to change, finding a balance between work and family, aging and illnesses. During the pandemic, shops are closed. No mass gatherings are allowed. City and borders locked down. School closed. Therefore, most of the people have to readjust their daily life routine. Students study online instead of going to school. Mother purchase grocery through modern tech. Some organizations require staff to work at home with flexible hours. To deal with such changes, it requires positive thinking and wisdom to face these changes. I have a friend who used to work 10 to 12 hours a day. He spent most of his time in his office, meeting clients, and working hard. Due to this pandemic, he has to work from home. At the beginning, he felt it's not so bad to stay at home. He can spend more time with his family. But 1 month later, he felt stressful. He starts to get agitated easily and lose his temper. Many times, he quarreled with his wife on small matters. The trouble in his mind cannot be unraveled. He becomes sick and needs medication. Why? Because he is not ready for these changes. He was compelled to stay in a small area with the distractions from his children and complaints from his wife, where he have never experienced that before. Actually, stress is everywhere. There are even sources of stress inside us. For example, stress from feeling lonely, jealousy, hatred, ignorance, so on and so forth. Some people are overwhelmed by stress and yet to physical fatigue, poor motivation, suicidal tendencies, or mental fusion. The Buddha said, negative occurrences are not permanent, neither are positive ones. Realizing this is important to constructing a balanced perspective. Becoming aware of impermanence of all situations can fuel one's passion by relishing and savoring the wonderful parts of life. How to rid yourself from stress? If you like to rid yourself from stress, the following are some recommendations. Number 1, enhance knowledge and wisdom by observing and learning from what happened around you. By gathering further knowledge and deepening your understanding, you can reduce stress. Johnny owns a garment factory. During the pandemic, he did not receive much order from his client. Therefore, he thinks, since face mask is high in demand, why not I change my production to manufacture face masks? From then, his business gets better. Thereafter, his factory becomes popular in the market. So, number 2, be optimistic, cheerful, and carefree. Open your heart as wide as an ocean, so you can embrace the universe. Be optimistic about everything you do, and do not overburden yourself, and you will eventually alleviate stress, just like Johnny. Number 3, develop the ability to let go. Like a piece of luggage, carry it when you need it. However, when you do not need it, put it down and let go. When you accept situation for what it is, you will stop trying to change it. Once a situation or circumstances loses its power, you can move on and take the next right action. Be friend with stress. Be willing to accept the stress as part of you and part of life. Why bother fighting? If you cannot change the current situation, why not live with it? Number 5, make use of every opportunity to rest and go with the flow. When you do not ask for stress or resent it, stress will eventually disappear. Number 6, place more emphasis on enhancing patience, compassion, and wisdom by cultivating the self. If you can practice the above, you can lead a life of carefreeness. Sometimes, stress is like a rock lodged in your mind. The best way to remove the rock is to learn and practice Dharma. There is a Buddhist term, dependent origination. The Buddha described it by saying, when there is this, that is. With the arising of this, that arises. When this is not, neither is that. With the cessation of this, that ceases. This means things don't just happen. There is a combination of causes and conditions that is necessary for things to happen. By understanding how things come together, how they interact, actually remove that sense of weakness and being helpless. Let me share a story on 5 aggregates that are empty. During the Buddha's time, there was an elder who was a man who practiced Dharma and respect Sanghas. One morning, he came to Buddha's vihara to salute the Buddha, and then sat down in front of the Buddha's seat. And the Buddha asked "Why are you here so early?" He replied, "I have doubt in my mind that I want to consult the Buddha." The Buddha then asked, "What doubts do you have in your mind?" He said, "Buddha, when people are sick and in pain, what should be done?" The Buddha said, "Everyone only knows the pain of the disease, but they do not know how to remove the cause of pain." The elder asked the Buddha, "Buddha, then how can I get rid of the pain?" The Buddha said, "All beings lived with desire for joy. So when the body is sick, the mind also falls sick, and it starts to feel miserable. If one feels sick in body, and his mind is not disturbed by his illness, pain can be released." When the elder heard Buddha said, he seems to understand a little truth. He prostrated to the Buddha and took his leave. When he walked out, he thought to himself, "Sariputra, a well-known disciple of the Buddha. I wonder what will he say about suffering, of life and death." He then saw Sariputra sitting under the tree meditating. He paid respect to Sariputra. Sariputra said, "Elder, you look happy today. What have you heard?" The elder said, I just heard the profound teaching from the Buddha, and I'm very happy." Sariputra then asked, "What wonderful Dharma does the Buddha give you?" The elders repeated what the Buddha had said. Sariputra asked further, "Dear elder, how to maintain a calm mind when your body is sick?" The elder said, "Oh, I forgot to ask the Buddha." Sariputra then explained to him, 5 aggregates are empty. Such like healthy body is something people will pursue. Then they will continue to pursue external satisfaction. That will cause the physical body and mind to feel fatigue. Once the mind is sick, the whole body starts to suffer. Therefore, if one understands that old age, death, is the law of nature, one will not feel suffering. The elder was very happy after hearing from Sariputra. Therefore, from this story, we can understand that all suffering actually are caused by attachment to false form. Once you let go of this attachment, you are no longer tangled by external influence. If we can understand how things come together, we can also begin to understand the way out and find way to carefreeness. Hope with this understanding, it helps us to ease a sense of isolation, and it helps us to reduce stress. I would like to share the wisdom words in Humble Table and Wise Fair by Venerable Master Hsing Yun. Everything has its pros and cons. Simply understand how to weigh them. Everyone has strengths and weakness. Simply understand how to bring out the best in others. So let us train ourselves to face challenges and take on stress. Then it will eventually be dispelled. Thank you for listening. I hope everyone will lead a life of carefreeness and free from stress. Thank you.